Hello everyone and welcome to this new tutorial on LFOs. LFOs are low frequency generators that can control basic functions such as volume, pan, and sends. You can find the LFO window in the palette or you can open it via the shortcut Command K. By default, only one LFO is activated. To add more, go into Preferences, where you have the option to add up to 8. Of course, each LFO will use CPU resources. So I'm going to only enable 3 LFOs. Here are my 3 LFOs, each assigned its own color. I can change the shape of each individual LFO to be sine, square, triangle, or a ramp wave. Using the toLFO function, you can route the signal from a loop, for example, to the LFO. I'll load a loop into the looper. Load the toLFO plugin. Choose LFO1, and you can see that the curve of the waveform from the guitar appears in the LFO1 window. For the rest of the tutorial, though, I'm going to stick to the sine wave. In the time column, you can select the division of the LFO frequency. These divisions are relative to the tempo of the metronome. If the relative divisions are not sufficiently precise for your use, you can also select a speed coefficient in the third column entitled Rate. A value of 0.5 will divide the frequency by 2, while, say, a value of 4 will multiply it by 4. By default, the LFO function has an amplitude of 1, which can be changed with the cursor in the amp column. When using an audio signal's waveform as an LFO, the amp value functions like a compressor expander. You can flip the phase of the LFO using invert. You can use the full range of the output, which goes from -1 to 1, but in some cases, you may find it interesting to instead use the absolute value. To do this, click the button in the output column, which will switch to ABS for absolute. The LFO signal is displayed in a small window to the right and is sent to the interface elements of the main window to control them automatically. In the route column, I'll select which parameters will be modulated by the LFO, whether it's volume, pan, spatialization, etc. Note that stereo panners are not affected by this action. The track column sets the track destination, and the parameter column lets you choose one of the 8 parameters of an insert, which of course is only relevant if you select an insert in the route column. Min and max set a floor and ceiling for the modulation. And phase lets you flip the phase, again, to easily generate differences among 2 parameters controlled by the same LFO. For more control, you can even add a delay, using a division of the metronome. The window at the right displays the final signal that is sent to the Logelloop command. Here I'm using this LFO to modulate the panning of the first 2 tracks, with the phase inverted, as well as the fader of track 2. It's possible to chain LFOs together under the first column, Chain. If, for the third LFO, I select LFO 1 in the Chain column, you can see that the resulting signal is the modulation of a ramp wave and a sine wave LFO. Thanks for watching. See you next time.